It's great to be talking to some young, enlightened Indians who have their thinking caps on, and if not now, are going to be socially committed citizens. As this institute, MITS, as per its vision statement, is committed to producing socially committed citizens with an ethical value system. And for a mature and evolved country like India, it's very, very important to have socially committed citizens, especially the younger generation. But the social landscape of India is very, very diverse, complex and large. And a part of this social landscape comprises the family members of over 26,000 soldiers of armed forces, soldiers who have made this supreme sacrifice to protect us, to protect the honor of our tricolor. And if you take into consideration the family members, close relatives and friends, this number may go up to a few hundred thousands. And all these family members have lost them forever. But are we socially committed to remember these soldiers? Are we socially committed to remember the family members of these soldiers? Are we socially committed to pay these family members the same coin and say, since you have lost them forever, we are going to remember them forever? But how do we remember them? To remember them, first you have to know them. Then, how do we know them? Well, there are over 200 memorials scattered all over the country, including the National War Memorial located in New Delhi. But how many Indians can physically go and visit these memorials? And even if you go there, you get to see only the name, service number, unit and day of martyrdom of these martyrs. The stories are lost. The stories are missing. And as it is said, a man is known not necessarily by his name, but by his deeds. So the stories are very important. The stories that were created by their unshakable courage and indomitable spirit, by their grit, by their determination, by their love for the country, by their devotion to duty, by their extraordinary gallantry, and by their unflinching fighting spirit. And all these attributes of theirs make these stories truly, truly inspirational. And these stories have the potential to generate a sense of belonging to the country among the people and make thinking about the country a way of life. And if that be the case, no power on this earth can stop India from becoming a truly great nation if people think about the country, and thinking about the country becomes the second nature of its citizens. And that is the importance of these stories, and that's how HonourPoint came into being, with an objective to bring the story of every fallen soldier into public domain and inspire the people of the country to do something for the country in their own way, in whichever field you are working, in whatever you are doing. But the task of bringing these stories of thousands of martyrs right from 1947 till date is indeed humongous. Very, very difficult and time-consuming. But the stories are inspirational enough to provide the drive to undertake this mammoth task. The online memorial not only publishes the stories of the martyrs, but also publishes through its social media pages the stories of the family members to connect the civil society to the families and make them aware of their moral obligation toward these families. The memorial not only brings the stories of the martyrs into public consciousness, but also touches the heartstrings of many, many martyrs in many, many ways. Let me share two true stories to explain this. First, let me tell you the story of Second Lieutenant Jasmel Singh Khokar from Punjab, who was martyred during the 1971 war. When the war broke out, he was recuperating in a military hospital for an ailment. When he came to know that his unit had already moved to the battlefield, he sought an immediate discharge from the hospital and went and joined his unit in the battlefield. And there, fighting valiantly, he was martyred at the age of 25 years. When recently his brother's story was published, 48 years after his day of martyrdom, the family got really, really touched. Hundreds of people paid their tributes to the martyr through their online messages. Not only that, many of his comrades who had taken part in the war along with him and survived got to know about the family and got in touch with the family to share their feelings. And many of them now are planning to go down to their place and meet the family members and relive those memories. The family members, some of them who are now settled in the United States, were overwhelmed by the nation's response. What nation gave them was something priceless. What nation gave them was a feeling beyond compare. Let me tell you another story of Nayak Timaya from Karnataka, who was martyred in the year 2007. He received multiple gunshots during an encounter with the militants in the Kashmir Valley. And while in the hospital, he told his wife that he had met in an accident and would be back soon. That was a soldier speaking. A soldier who doesn't share his pain even with his family members. And he was martyred. At that time, his daughter was barely 1 year old, and the young widow had a very long struggle ahead. When recently her story was published, Nayak Timaya's sacrifice got vital recognition, and his wife got many well-wishers. A number of organizations came forward to make her feel appreciated, honored, and respected. Even the help for her daughter education came in. Today, she lives a life of pride and dignity and with a very high self-esteem. So apart from touching the lives of many, many martyrs' families, HonourPoint in its journey has also found many other martyrs' families who are helping others despite their personal tragedies. Instead of looking for help from others, they have taken it upon themselves to help the society and the nation in many, many ways. Normally, a response to a personal tragedy is always, why me? But instead of asking that question, they have decided to respond differently and positively. Let me share a few true stories in this regard. First, let me tell you the story of Major Akshay Girish Kumar, who was martyred on 29th November 2016 during the Nagrota attack. It was an attack by an armed group of militants on an army camp at Nagrota, a place between Jammu and Udhampur. The militants managed to sneak deep inside and reached the residential quarters of the soldiers. Many, many lives were at risk, but Major Akshay Girish, in a rare show of courage and gallantry, saved all those precious lives, but at the cost of his own life. He left behind his distraught parents, a 3-year-old daughter, and a young widow. What do you expect from such a family which has lost its brightest star in its prime time? But they decided to pick up the pieces and started an organization called Major Akshay Girish Memorial Trust. And through this trust, they have visited various schools and colleges across Karnataka to inspire the young students to join the armed forces and instill in them the values of the armed forces. They are also planning to offer various programs to guide the students to join the armed forces. Look at these remarkable people. Look at their response to their personal tragedy. Let me tell you another story of Lieutenant Akash Yadav from Haryana, who was martyred in the year 2010 during an air operation along the China border. An ace helicopter pilot, he had over 1,000 flying hours to his credit and had nearly completed 4 years of service. How do you expect the parents to respond who had lost their 24-year-old son? But they decided to take tragedy in their stride and started an organization called Shaheed Pilot Akash Yadav Yuva Prerna Samiti in Kosli town in Rewari district of Haryana. And this organization conducts various programs for the youth in nearby areas and also in the state of Haryana to inspire the youth to join the armed forces. Not only that, they have adopted over 60 children from nearby slum areas and have taken responsibility to educate them by offering free uniform, stationery and free tuition classes in the evening so that they do well in their academics. They are also offering various scholarships to meritorious students in the name of like Afraz. All this they are doing without having deep pockets. They don't have loads of money, but what they have is a large heart and a passion to serve the nation in whichever way they can. Take the story of Sipai Bablu Singh from Mathura in Uttar Pradesh, who was martyred in the year 2016. In a counter-infiltration operation, he was martyred fighting against the militants in the Kashmir Valley. And he left behind 2 young children, 1 widow, 1 younger brother, and father, who were all dependent on him. But instead of cursing the fate, God, and the world, his younger brother is now engaged in taking care of other martyrs' families across the state of Uttar Pradesh through his organization called Shaheed Bablu Singh Memorial Trust. And being from martyrs' family, he understands the pain points of other martyrs' families and tries to help them in every way, be it getting the entitlements from the state or the central government, or be it fighting for their rights with other government agencies, or arranging help from other philanthropic organizations. There are many more such remarkable stories. And all these stories tell us that we as a nation should not only be thankful to the martyrs, but be equally thankful to their family members as well. But thankfulness is just the beginning. Gratitude is the completion of thankfulness. Thankfulness may contain mere few words, but gratitude is shown in acts. And where all of us truly appreciate the contribution of the martyrs' families and genuinely feel grateful to them, but merely feeling grateful and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. So let's express, let's act, and let's do everything possible to make these families feel respected, feel honored, feel cared for, feel special. All of us are contributing to the nation some way or the other to make our nation rich, strong, and powerful. A nation can become rich and powerful, but remember, only and only a grateful nation can become a great nation. So let's join our hands together and take a resolve to show our gratitude in acts and make India a truly, truly great nation. Thank you. Jai Hind.